2 envelopes, and they said, when we go see the white families, we're going to take this red folder. 19. We go see the black families, we're going to take this blue folder. I don't know no better. My mom's a mathematician at Morgan State. I come from a long line of educated, so many degrees they below zero half the time. So I'm following directions. And after about a year of doing this,
hey, can you hold the camera
I started understanding that I was going to black families talking about one topic, and the white families talking about another topic, and it was almost the exact same thing, but it was the information. Make sense?
No.
That's all right. I'll get to it.
Okay. All right.
It was the information that I was being encouraged to give to them, that I was going into trailers, setting families up to retire at 42 from Walmart. And I was going to the black families that were making $250,000, $100,000, and setting them up to retire at 80. And the black families were investing 7 times more than the whites in the trailer. And at 50, they were moving to Ellicott City. Right? So after about a year of this, now I'm in my 2021, I figured it out, and I grabbed
He didn't want to be on
the other folder to go to the black family appointment. And I tried to sneak out the front door, and they said, "Hey, how you doing?" I said, "I'm good." They said, "Which?" I said, they said, "You have the wrong folder." I don't want to go back upstairs and be late. I'm going to just use this one. Then I hold on myself, called up. I said, "You know what? I'm going to have Tony run that appointment. You just meet me in the morning." I quit. I came back into the business, but it's been on my mind and my heart for a long time, right? Money, the whole understanding how money works. So I left the business for about 15 years. I recently got back into the field. We started getting licensed again. And this time I said I'm gonna come with a different focus. So right now, 99% of my clients are African American. I've been grateful. God has blessed. In April, May, I was #1 in the state. June, #1 in the state. July, #2. August, #3. September, #1. October, #1. And talking about finance. I just left the church in Frederick, all white church. They're going hayride. They said, let's talk about money. And I went over a bunch of scriptures, about 42 scriptures about money. That's actually 2,000 passages in the Bible about money. It's the second highest talked about topic in the scriptures, over 2,000 verses, 500 on prayer, 500 on fasting. Right? And I said, it's because you guys are religious. He said, no, actually, 80% of registered atheists that filled out a form are Jews. Filled out a form, I hate God, don't believe in God. So how many billionaires? He said all they do is study the Torah, the Pentateuch, Old Testament, and these principles. And they teach it. I'm sitting in these classes. They teach. You don't have to be smart or educated to be a billionaire. You must respect these principles about money. These principles that the Creator has pre-set up. If you don't, you get none. Right? So let's talk about our area. Maryland, D.C., Virginia, the Tri-State has the richest blacks on the planet, only second to Nigeria. Y'all with me? Baltimore has the highest percentage of black-owned businesses in American history. Almost 40% of this city of African-American black-owned businesses in America. 98% of them are sole proprietors. They can't hire nobody else. They work by themselves. They don't make enough money to hire people. Only maybe 100,000 have enough to hire people. I love what we do with the community. I love what we do and helping people. It means so much to me. But I always tell guys, if I crossed everybody up in basketball and I went down the court and I was the meanest cat, nobody could get the ball from me, but every time I got to the goal, somebody blocked me, 70% of the time. I just had bad form. If I went in football and I threw 600 yards every game, but I averaged 8 picks every game, do you think I understand the game of football? No. And I encourage cats in this particular field that if I'm in a capitalistic game, y'all with me? I'm in a capitalistic nation. Right? In 2007, watch this, the median household income was $57,000. 2007. 2015 is $56,000. It went down 1,000. Forbes says America's not had a raise in 50 years. Why? Because our incomes are going up 2%. Y'all with me? You know what inflation is? 3%. That's called a loss. It's over. That means a whole lot of six-figure income people are in Walmart. That means the cost of milk, gas, right? Netflix, everything, your 100 grand is not enough to live the life you want to live at 2% versus 3%. Y'all with me? Right? So I just want to set the stage. 37% of the cats, where he is, he's a great mentor of mine, where he is, at retirement age, 37% die or dead shortly after retirement. 47% are relying on the government or somebody else. So that's 90, almost 95, 96% are either dead or dead broke. But he pulls up in a sports car. So he's in a small percentage. Actually, the percentage that he's at in the retirement age is 0.3%. It's pretty bad. Y'all with me?
Well,
in
pretty,
2000,
pretty good.
Well, so this is when Hassan is talking about sitting with people, right? Passing down stuff is crucial. The average income in America in 2000, talking about 17 years ago, for the average income per person was $29,330. 2017 is $30,451. Forbes just came out in August and said that Americans now have the highest debt load in human living history. We are bigger slaves than we've ever been with the Google and internet, right? We know what the scripture says, knowledge puffs up, but love builds up, right? I tell people the only thing better than knowledge is wisdom. Because we're more knowledgeable than we ever been, but we slaver than we ever been. We broker, we poor, we more indebted, right? We working longer, right? So I want to set the stage, but the topic today really is on humility. The definition of humility comes from the word humilitas, which means grounded from the earth. When I talk about money and I go into households, I get the most challenge from brothers. And I ain't even mad about it. People are like, no, I'm not coming for them. I'm not coming for them. It's tough to talk about. It's tough to talk about. But it's so important for me, for them to understand money. Why is it even more important for me at BPM? Because we're called black professional men. So Proverbs says, you see a man skilled at what he does, he would not serve before regular men, he would serve before kings. My thing is, in any field that we're doing, if you can't unplug, you're not a professional yet. Y'all with me? There's 4 ways to make money in America. There's active income, one stream, which is from your job. Most entrepreneurs have 3 streams of income, right? But most entrepreneurs, if I'm a dentist or I'm a doctor, I actually own my job. I get paid per tooth, right? If I'm a barber, I own my job. If I don't cut hair, I don't make no money. Y'all with me? But so I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not a businessman until I can unplug. Y'all with me? If you can't unplug, I tell people, say, Marcel, are you a businessman? Not at all. No, I'm aspiring to. I got a plan on paper. You're not a businessman, I always see you traveling. No, I'm an entrepreneur. But I'm an entrepreneur. I don't even get it twisted. I filed bankruptcy twice. I was homeless. I know where I come from. I know the plan I got on paper, right? My financial mentor, I just met with him last week. He makes $90,000 a month. And it's going to get passed down to his children's children. He got $2.6 billion in the bank that grows at 12% on average. So every 6 years, what does that mean based on the laws of money? It doubles every 6 years. So in 6 more summers, it's going to go from 2 to 4. It just can't stop for him. And he sat down with me and he said, well, I said, it's real simple. Let's not make this complicated. How much money you made in your lifetime? I said, well, I'm 41. He said, how much money you made, Marcel? I said, about 1.2 million in the past 23 years working. He said, I saw the house, man, 7-bedroom house, it's cool. He's only going down, right? And he said, okay, last question, how much you got left? None. I said, so this is your first 41 years. Let's walk through your next 41. He said, you only got 3 ways to get out of this alive. Other than that, I'll say a prayer for you. Right? Somebody said, well, what if that's not really important to you, right? So Ecclesiastes 11, I'll just kind of give a couple of scriptures. Ecclesiastes 11, 2 through 6. It says, you guys can read it. The topic says, invest in many ventures. Right? I don't know if you guys ever read this. Verse 2, it says, invest in 7 ventures. Yes, 8. You do not know what disaster may come upon the land. So some people say, well, man, I got a real good government job. I shouldn't have multiple streams of income. This brother came in and talked about it last time. It was an awesome conversation about it. Multiple streams of income. but it's actually biblical to have multiple streams of income, right? So again, average entrepreneur has 3 streams. Average millionaire has 6 streams. The passage in Ecclesiastes said you have to have 6 or 7 streams of income. The average billionaire has 12 plus. That was written, whether you believe, well, if you don't believe it, then don't believe it. But that was written 3,200 years before. In 1901, 98% of Americans were entrepreneurs. Wasn't nobody working no job. That didn't even make sense to them. Y'all with me? So a lot of this stuff we are conditioned in this program. And why am I bringing us from? Because I'm cool that we help the community. It is extra sensitive that we are dealing with us. Right? I want the group to be healthy from here out. I want us to be good from here. And that takes brutal humility. First thing I walk into a household, I say, let's talk about your financial house. And then they say, okay, bro, let's talk about financial house. What's the first thing we talk about? Life insurance. They say, life insurance? I say, yeah, life insurance. The net worth for African Americans in this area, the richest blacks on the planet, only second in Nigeria is $3,000. How are we going to be that bad? We have more master's degrees and PhDs than Nigerians in record history. They smashing Asians in this area. Right? On numbers, we're beating everybody. So how do they have $256,000 worth of net worth and we got $3,000 life insurance? They say, what do you mean? I said, number one thing. I tell people, unfortunately, my wife and kids about 2 months ago got hit on the New Jersey Turnpike. A guy hit him in the car, flipped over 3 times, threw him in the air. She was taking out a 4-month-old at the time to go see her family in Boston. I have a 2-year-old child in the car. I have a 3-year-old child in the car, my 13-year-old son and my nephew. And the guy hits him and kept going. Flips over 3 times, throws him in the air, 20 feet in the air, car drops. And, I grew up, went through the whole thing, talking to her on the phone, it sounded like somebody was terrorizing. It was a rough situation. When I went on appointments, people asked me, so man, God forbid if she had died, that would cost me $90,000 to bury them. Average funeral was $15,000. Everybody in the car added up the math, $90,000. My mortgage is $339,000. Right? What does that mean? Within 6 months, I was going to go down 4 financial classes. That's the numbers. But I have enough insurance, which I pay 3 times less than my car payment to do that. Most cats got better protection on their car than their family. Y'all with me? 3 times less than my car payment. If she would have died and the kids, I would have given them an elaborate funeral. I would have been able to mourn for 3 years, pay off all my debt, and open up the business after the 4th year after I went through therapy and whatever I went through mentally. Y'all with me? If I die today, every bill we got is paid. My wife gets $50,000 to $100,000 for a while. All my kids' college is paid. And I pay 3 times less than my car payment to have that set up. Y'all with me? Black professional men, there's a ton of scriptures on inheritance. Proverbs 13:22 says a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. Right? And so I tell people, how do you do that? Abraham had 10,000 cattle. These guys said, I don't know how the heck to do that. It's real simple. Leave the average house in 30 minutes and they have $1 million worth of coverage. You die now, $1 million grand, $1 million go to. Are you serious? Yes. 3 times less than your car payment. And they say, well, bro, does it matter what kind of policies out there? Absolutely. What does it matter the products? Absolutely. And that's what I train them with. Why? 95% of what's sold in the black community is garbage and gutted out. 98% of these policies sold in our community don't even pay out. You understand? So this is kind of stuff I want to sit with the brothers in the group. I don't need to be all in your business. Let's just make sure your house strong. You die, and a percentage can go to BPM. People ask, how did the Catholic Church become a machine like that? The Jewish temples, life insurance.
Yeah.
Life insurance. They leave a bequest, 2%, 3% of their insurance policy, and they should, right. I was with some Jews, all of them in the house on Section 8. They got insurance on everybody. Everybody in the house on Section 8. They asked me, can I double my coverage? Y'all with me? The 19-year-old is saving $200 a month. By the time he's 43, he will have $2.4 million. That's $50 a week. So how does that work? I have no problem with sitting with you and showing this is understanding money. This is capitalism. This is the laws and the rules of this game. Y'all with me? It's like somebody playing fantasy football. If you don't understand the rules, it's a wrap for you. It doesn't matter how hard we grind. And we grinding harder, and we're not really grinding harder than any related group left before us, because we know that. We ain't dumb. We know these jokers built the White House. These jokers were doing with a bad eye and broke leg, and we're not even having to work that hard. Right? But we got these record numbers, but how's our net worth work? So I just wanted to share that for a few minutes. I got another presentation here shortly, guys, I'm going to run to. But if it's okay with you guys, I'll text you separately. I'll sit with you and go over it. And you say, well, bro, I don't want you to come to me. Cool. The statistics are still where they are. And then I'm not talking about what you mean if I don't forget going with me. I'm just get the wisdom, bro, from somebody. I don't really care who you get it from. But you probably want to get it from somebody you can kind of at least hold accountable. They said, well, so should I trust you? No, don't trust me. Trust is a privilege and not a right. Our trust is earned. You know what I'm saying? But at least get somebody you can hold accountable, which is usually good today in your own community. Because you can at least show up and say, bro, you got a second? Right? If this cat lives somewhere else, you can't see him all the time. You can't even hold him accountable. Most cats ask me, why do I do a lot of black? I can hold them accountable. They right here down the street. There's bad business outside of that. You make sense? So I wouldn't mind sitting with you guys, but and I'm going to say, well, bro, because I got to meet with you at the next meeting. And the next meeting, our lives got to hang together. So I ain't really interested in doing you dirty because I'm too fat to run. But I really want to get with you guys at some point individually. And then when we feel good about our personal plans, start doing maybe house groups and bringing other people together. Because it's cool if you want to be a baker, if you want to be an engineer, if you want to be anything, if you are not playing by the rules of this game, y'all with me? You are throwing interceptions. Doesn't matter the ideas you have. If you don't understand, and it's so fun, guys, and they say, well, so you trying to say, I got to be smart? No. 26,000 PhDs last year filed for food stamps. Good luck with the smarts. Right? Education, by definition, means to be indoctrinated. Right? So indoctrinate means to be programmed. So I know people who got 4.0s and are good at being programmed. Right? Very few valedictorians actually shake up life. The average GPA of a millionaire, however, is 2.9. The last 700 millionaires in America, the average GPA is 2.7. Common sense is our street term for intellect. Y'all with me? So what we're going to have is common sense conversations. Guys who shake things up. Right? Guys who make a boatload of money. Guys who live different. They live financially free. I'm not talking about getting rich, guys. I'm talking about financial freedom. Financial freedom is biblical. People like to talk about the guys in the Bible was broke. Peter lived in an area where the average person had 2 stoves and a wine cellar. He was a successful businessman. Andrew was an entrepreneur. He was a real estate agent. Lydia had a staff. She was a fashion designer. I don't know where these guys were getting these stories. Job made $21 million. I don't know where these guys get these philosophies when these cats be preaching like we should live this broke, crazy life. That is undivine. I'm not talking about being rich, guys. I'm talking about the men in BPM having a plan on paper for financial freedom. Y'all with me? So if we want to be whatever we want to be, we solid. And any young guy coming in, we pass that down, and we pass that down. And then we die. We leave a portion of what we're doing to BPM. We're trying to figure that out. You know, Hassan also brought that up. We're trying to figure out, well, maybe we can even get a policy built into what we're doing. So if a portion of what we leave, we automatically go to BPM. You know? Because one thing we know, I know we all love each other, but we ain't going to get out of this alive. There's 7,000 deaths a day in America. In this area right here, by 4 o'clock in the morning, it will be 16 people gone. National statistics. Sorry. So what we know we can do is make sure they preset up. I'm done. You guys, if you got any questions for me, any thoughts on it, I just want to share that, bro.
From a BPM business, because I know that many corporations always, one of their main things they have investments in the life insurance policies of the CEO. Maybe there's a way that we can actually have something like that kind of written into our like maybe our board members or something like that.
So I can say this.
When they pass away, that will help start funding.
Well, we got that already.
So the number 1 rule in the Jewish community, they have a book called The 7 Principles of Enduring People. I just finished training the North Korean group. Because 99% of their people buy cash value policies. And they want to know, why are they so far behind the Jews? And the rabbis came in and said, because y'all buy stuff we would never buy. We would never buy this stuff. I'll give it to you guys separately, but there's a thing called the Rule of 72. So in the Rule of 72, we can go into it right now, but it's real simple. Whatever interest rate anybody bring in your house, Gerber, anything, you divide that by 72 and it tells you how long it's going to take for that money to double. So 95% of the stuff they sell in our community is 2 to 3%. You with me? So what does that mean? That takes 36 to 24 years to double. They got one doubling period in your lifetime, and you're a dead man. They're buying, and anything that they have as protection is only protection. And they put investment stuff, only investment. What they try to do in our community is say, we got a product where it's all mixed up. And usually when it's mixed up, if I can't tell you the families I'm walking in, and the mom is crying because she was paying $60 a month with some percentage of interest, and then they had this percentage, and I'm like, read the second line. She's like, it's 4%, I'm guaranteed. Yes, but we're gonna, it's a 2% fee every year? Yeah, plus that, plus, she said, so I owe them money. I've been paying this 36 years. Well, this is what they sell to us. When I tell you all day, I walked in an economist's house for the government. This brother put his feet on the table and said to me, hey, you know, I'm an economist. I know the rule of 72, da-da-da. His wife was gorgeous. She said this is a wasted conversation, but we just trying to be kind to you, brother. I said, cool, can you go grab what y'all have? I said, if you do, I'm good. I can leave. I can get this drink, because the drink was awesome. And they came down and he brought out this policy that was gutted out. This is what I share to all families. And I share to the women. I say to the wife, when I looked at the page, and I said, I'm not going to tell you, I'm going to let you read it. But if I take away 80% of the chance for you to get the money, you die, and I take away 80% of the chance for you and your kids to get the money, would you be excited? No. She said, who would be excited about that? I said, well, we got $1 million policy. Absolutely. And I only pay this little bit of money. I know. Let's go through line 1. What they're not going to cover. Line 2, what they're not going to cover. So I said, unless an alien's coming to snatch you up, right? That's the only way they're going to pay this out. Yeah. So she's like, what? I was like, is this likely to happen? Yes, that's how everybody in my family dies. Well, that's not, and this is, you with me? So there's a lot of stuff that's sold, that's pitched to us, that the wealthy will never buy this stuff. There are a lot of products that were made for the mega wealthy guys to hide their money in for tax shelters. So they came in our hood and said, you should get it. But we ain't living that lifestyle. And the product you just gave me not only made me not live the lifestyle, it just reversed the chance to ever live that lifestyle. Y'all with me? Because the way it's played, this was the thing to hide my money in. Why are you selling it? But they won't sell it to them. They won't sell that to them. They'll sell it to us. We can set up a separate time, but usually what many of them do is they have peer protection. Because they know one thing, and then anything else is an investment. So they take, after the death, they know now how to invest that money. And they do what is called endowments. So endowment is just a real sexy word for nonprofits where they put the money where it's rolling, automatically by itself. Y'all with me? So, I mean, we can talk about, you know, all this stuff, and I don't want to, I'm not the example. This information is bigger than me. You understand? I'm just coming back into this field. Somebody said, Marcel, information is information. I just want to give y'all information. I'm still a rookie in the field, but the information has been around for hundreds of years. Make sense? So I would like to set up separate times with you guys. If you're married, I prefer you and your wife because, yeah, whatever. And just kind of go over and make sure you feel good about your financial plan. And then when you feel good, then start helping the community. I personally can't come to a lot of stuff because of Romans 13:8. It says, let no debt remain outstanding except for love one another. I got a lot of debt. I tell people, you know the number one reason why guys don't participate in BPM? They slaves. They slaves. I'm a slave. I leave all my bills on the door right beside my house. Everybody said, well, so you should put your bills away. I don't. When they go away, it's when I don't own them no more. I want to be reminded that I'm a slave. I don't never want to get it twisted. I want to have a plan. When this guy's paid off, he's done. When that guy's paid off, he's done. My $349,000 mortgage, when it's paid, I got a 7-year plan for that. It's done. Right? And so when I'm free, I'm free. I ain't trying to ever act like I ain't free if I ain't free. I want to be clear. BPM to me have to have a brutal sense of humility. So when young guys are coming in, they're like, these brothers are on something different. They do something different. I love meeting with him. Because he's the most raw. Oh, that's a whole second issue. But y'all with me? When and so if you like, well, let's not talk about it because I don't want to be in, then stop calling yourself a pro. Because every pro in every sport is one thing. They humble. Right? Michael Jordan ain't getting it twisted. We call him the greatest, but his shoot percentage is 49. That's bad math. In baseball, you shoot 30% of the time, you hit the ball 30%, they call you a legend. So 70% of the time, you suck. Right? So a lot of times we feel like, I don't want nobody, they're going to look down on me. Listen, you ain't going to get it all right. I don't want to preach over. I'll just kind of leave it at that. But that's what I wanted to answer to that. I think we should have pure protection is pure protection. and then we should look at opportunities to invest in investments. And we can talk about stuff out there that's growing. People are like, well, I don't like to deal with investments. It's scary. Okay, so what's your other option? Do nothing? Because that's even more scary. Doing nothing is way more scary than an option that's 80% chance to win. The one you got is a 0 chance to win. Y'all with me? So if we could have a separate lesson, I can meet with you guys. When it comes to finances, I talk about it publicly. I meet privately.
So I'll host a place if y'all want to come. I'll host a session.
And in this session, I'll talk general. But again, I tell everybody, I talk publicly, but I tend to honestly meet privately. Because I'm licensed in the state that, like a doctor, your stuff is your stuff. If I say it, I'm going to jail. So if I meet at your house, actually we ain't meet as long as I'm concerned. Somebody say, I heard you went by, you go. Oh, no, I'm good. Because that mess stays right between you and your wife. And whatever, you know, I have a fiscal responsibility to the state of Maryland, the governor, and the commission, and all that stuff. But yes, if you want public information, we can actually talk about it. Yes. And I would leave this. The plan we would have would be for your children to start retiring 15, 20 years before you. Y'all with me? 15, 20 years before you. They're like, well, I wouldn't retire that. Like, well, if you ain't had, we got to do the math to see how likely that is realistically. Where I'm at 41, unless I make some drastic changes in the way my business is running, I'm gonna be working until I'm 75, unfortunately, because I got a plan on paper. So I need these small little things to happen. If they happen, I thank God. Other than that, based on all that, I got an 80% chance that that's not going to happen. But I got a phenomenal chance that my 14-year-old son can be done in his 40s.
So, thank you.
I'm done.
Regina?